Before I start my video, I just want to give a shout out to Ash. This has been a bit of a delayed one because I was hoping for the next free-to-play event character to come out to do this announcement, but it is going to be in this promo video just to say thank you very much for the 12 months of support. This was from about a week or so ago. I think it was a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and you hit 12 months as a member. I do appreciate it a lot. You have joined the ranks of the pink badges. Do enjoy the pink badge hype. If you want information on how to become a member of my channel, just click the join button underneath my video and it will just tell you the information. And you can join for as little as $1 a month or $12 a year. That is going to be to support my channel financially. It may not seem like a lot, but when a lot of people do it at the same time, it all adds up and it makes a big difference. I am very thankful for everyone who has hit that join button, of course. And I will give further shout outs to anyone who hits 12 and 24 months. Now on to the video. Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video. And in this video we're going to be taking a first look at Class Garrett, who is going to be the next promo character coming to RTS. And he is an OG. Everyone knows who Garrett is, at least some of the players who played from a long time ago, basically because he was one of the, if not the first character that everybody received. I remember getting this guy as a 2-star strong character. He was pretty fun to use. He obviously has had other iterations since. I think he's got a 4-star, 5-star, 6-star. I'm not sure about the 3-star. He might not have a 3-star, but he definitely has all the others. And he has been pretty powerful in other, in those other iterations. I think he had a shield, which was pretty good. I think he had 2 shields. Didn't he have a tough and an alert 5-star shield? I seem to remember that. But yeah, Garrett, character that is an RTS creator character. A lot of people like him, of course. He is going to be coming to the S-Class era, but he is going to be less one leg. I'm pretty sure this didn't happen to me in my story playthrough, but apparently it could happen. That's the visual that sticks out the most. However, the rest of him, he does look a lot like his 2-star in terms of the army military get-up. He is camoed up. He is very much ready. He is holding that crowbar, flashing away. We'll look at that weapon a little bit later. So he is, of course, going to be a strong character. He could have been tough. There have been tough Garretts in the past. He has got that rifle on his back. But this time around, he is going to be strong. As a 30 veteran ringed S-Class character, he gets 4,966 attack, 3,873 defense, 3,572 HP. He is considered a support character with that slight misbalance with his stats going towards attack, but we'll see what his kit has to offer to relay that. But he is, of course, a strong character holding that crowbar. We will go across to his Adrenaline Rush, and it is called Revitalizing Charge. It is a 76 AP cost rush. Deal 900% damage to a line of enemies. Up to 3 teammates get 75% attack for 2 turns. This character gets 100% max HP. So obviously 3 separate things. When I first saw this, I was like, this guy's kind of reminding me of an S-Class Axel, where Axel would do some damage, give buffs to teammates, and I think that's all Axel does. I'm not sure what else he might do something else as well. I think he might heal somebody as well. I'm not 100% certain. But with Garrett's Rush, it's a lot more controlled. He does line damage instead of hitting random enemies, which can obviously be a downside. Considering he is a strong character, he's got a good chance of potentially being used against someone like Mr. Lou. And at least you can control your rush. Know that you're not going to hit a payback character if you do, rush a line of enemies. You're going to be safe. The 3 teammates getting the 75% attack is quite nice. However, strong characters do have the opportunity to get strong attack weapons, where they give 50% boost on that weapon, and I don't believe it stacks with this. Strong attacks is just seen as a normal buff, just basically like a buff from an active, a buff from a rush. It doesn't seem like a buff from a specialist skill, which do stack with the others, which is a shame. Obviously, that would make strong attacks so much more powerful, but that's the way it is. 3 characters will just get boosted attack if you did already have that buff on your characters. Him getting 100% max HP is, I guess, kind of interesting. I'm not really sure what that's meant to achieve, except obviously just heal him up, but I'm not really sure. Maybe he's meant to be a character that lasts a bit of time on an attack team. We'll have to see the rest of his kit to identify why that would be, but we'll check out how this rush is going to work on an attack team. Okay, so we are on my natural rush turn. You can see I've been taking some hits, as you would normally, and you can see there are a couple of characters with 30% attack. This is because strong attack weapon is in Rick's hands. When I do the rush of Garrett's down low, we're not going to try and target the character that's got payback. You can see 75% attack does go on to some of the other characters. It does go on Garrett himself, so Jeremiah unfortunately doesn't get the boost. But like I said before, the multiplier does not come in with strong attacks weapon. It just boosts it up to the 75% attack on alpha. So I can obviously follow up with extra damage. I can decide to do the buff first. And then I can just decide where I'm going to go basically with my extra attacks. You may have noticed that Garrett's HP was dropped down quite a lot. I have not modded this guy at all when it comes to attacking. And he got focus, so he lost a lot of HP. However, because the rush heals him up 100%, he was maxed out at the end. This also is going to counter infection if he hasn't got heal reduction on him. So that is reasonable, I guess. I was trying to work out potentially where that could work, but that worked pretty nicely. If you can make him be the character that gets focused by the defense team, he will be able to heal that HP up quite a lot, obviously. And if they have got Mr. Lose or any bleed or burn characters on defense teams, he is going to be able to partially recover, at least momentarily, by getting his HP back up to 100%. So that's the rush. We'll go across to see what the active is going to be like. It is called Take Aim. He has got a crowbar in his hands, but I guess. Initial cooldown of turn 2, cooldown of 3 turns, number of uses 5. Up to 5 enemies get 100% heal reduction for 3 turns. All teammates get focus and 60 crit for 3 turns. This character gets 45% max AP. Now, 3 sections. The heal reduction is very reminiscent of S-Class Wang Fa. This potentially could be used in the trauma team now because obviously he's going to do an effect. He could line up next to someone like Diego. He could work on a bleed or infection team because of that heal reduction. It isn't really lining up very well with his rush the way I see it, because if you have got a percentage damage dealer who's going to buff attacks, this is more of an outlasty attack team sort of deal where you're trying to outlast the defense, whittle them down and not let them heal up. Whereas percentage attack is all about nuking, like just make sure you take them out as quickly as possible. You can maybe see the first part of this active as just more of a safety net rather than actually the most important thing. It will stop revives if someone does get taken down. You know, outlast characters start popping off like Tanya. She's not going to be reviving anybody. So that is where that could come into some usage. The second part with all teammates getting focus is really nice. It does unfortunately go off turn 2. We're seeing a lot of turn 1 controls. For instance, Ben just a couple of weeks ago has a turn 1 taunt. This would normally effectively block the taunt, but because this is going to go off afterwards, let's say Garrett had taunt resist, he got taunted, he resisted it, but the other teammates didn't. Those characters would taunt attack before Garrett could even do his active. It would stop potential taunt attacks in like the next turns, but it wouldn't stop taunt attacks on that initial, active from Ben on a defense team. The crit is interesting. That's going to play into a couple of characters' kits. You've got S-Class Michonne who can hit crits and actually get a benefit from it. You've also got someone like Alpha who can hit crits on her multi-hit rush. So there's definitely potential for that to enhance damage output. This character getting 45% max AP is, I think, not enough AP to get a natural turn 3 rush. I think you're going to need one 8% weapon to make sure that you still get that natural turn 3 rush. I will test this out, and if it is the case, that is going to be a little bit disappointing. So we'll attack again, and this time we're going to take Frost instead of Alpha. This is so I can shield and stop him from gaining any AP from being attacked. This is just to see if he does get enough AP naturally without being attacked. We can attack anybody who's been disarmed thanks to Jeremiah's lead skill. So we'll just do that. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do his active turn 2. The Reflect actually did give 1 AP here, so he might have just got away with it. Let's have a little look. We'll do his active. He didn't. So even with the Reflect giving an extra 1 AP, he's still at 75. So he's not going to have a natural turn 3 rush. Like, for instance, we go to the next turn now, and this is the rush turn. And now we can't rush with Garrett naturally unless he gets attacked, which he does. Someone does a basic attack against him. It is going to be Shane. So that could potentially get you out of jail a couple of times. But the second you come up against a team that doesn't attack you, you're not going to have a natural rush now. This time around I do. And we have 100% heal reduction on 3 guaranteed characters. And obviously we've got a bit more RNG in there with S-Class Trader, just because of the natural resists. But that can be an issue. So an 8% weapon is needed if you want that guaranteed rush on turn 3. You did also see the focus going to my teammates. This obviously against that team would have been very nice because they had a shield. If they had any other shield, be it MJ or any future release shields, be it an alert or far shield, which will no doubt come out in time, you'll be able to bypass those shields with that focus. Against heavy taunt defense teams as well, it can be very useful. This has got effectively, I believe, a 100% focus up because it has a 3-turn cooldown and it lasts for 3 turns. It's just a real shame that the AP doesn't work properly because this is kind of reminiscent of Wang Fa's active, who does quite a lot of the same things. Does the heal reduction, does AP to self, but Wang Fa does 60% AP to self. He does get a natural turn 3 rush in his scenario. He will work on Diego teams because of those loads of effects on his rush as well. It kind of seems like Garrett's kind of like in two minds where his kit's going to be going. It could work in certain teams. It's not necessarily a bad thing to be more of an all-round character that can work in multiple teams, but it's just going to be a little bit less appealing to certain people who are going to be going for characters. But we'll see what else his kit has to offer, and we'll check out his leader skill. It is all tough and strong teammates get 40% attack and a huge bonus to AP when attacking. Up to 5 enemies get crosshairs for 3 turns. Now, this is almost identical to S-Class Wang Fa, who gives everything here except the 40% attack, and I think his crosshairs last for an extra turn. When I did my initial review of Wang Fa, I said the crosshairs on that leader skill was just kind of a loss, honestly. It has turned out to actually be pretty decent just based on the amount of AR control there is right now, mainly Jesus. Just the fact that if you do take anyone down in those first few turns, they are going to be eliminated, which is actually very useful. And you can do that now with trauma. That didn't exist back then, so that is actually kind of nice now. But I don't know how useful it's going to be for this sort of setup. It is kind of interesting. I mean, I guess with those sort of characters and the fact that you're giving a percentage attack boost, you are going to be nuking teams down. So when they get taken out really quickly, because that, you know, that turn 3 initial rush is going to be very, very powerful with the likes of Alpha, Princess, or even like Priya's with those sort of traits. Takedowns almost guaranteed, and then those takedowns are going to be permanent. So we'll attack the same team again, and this time around we have Garrett as the leader, and as you can see, characters have been crosshaired because of that leader skill. We can obviously get the resist come in based on mods, based on specialist skills, and we obviously just, you know, follow up the damage. We're probably going to run into the same issue we've had. Let's have a little look. Are we going to run into the same issue? This is just to reaffirm the issue. Garrett has not been attacked. We do his active. He's at 73 AP, so he is going to be 3 AP shots. This is a problem, of course, but we do have the extra stuff on top. He is giving the boost to these sort of characters, and when the kills do come in, I'm just going to take out somebody just so you can see. I'll take out Shane because he's the easy takedown here. You should see a decap come in because of this. He should be. It might be hard to see him. Let me see if I can actually. You can sort of see him. Let's take down this dude as well. You should be able to see it. There we go. Well, you sort of can. You sort of can. These characters all got decapped, but the traders will not be decapped. As you'll see, trader go down. He is not decapped. He has got 100% heal reduction because of that Garrett active, so you could say that's a bonus. But the characters that got taken down in the first 3 turns, this is the natural turn 3 rush, will not be able to get revived. So that obviously is the massive bonus. The only thing I wonder is, did we need it for this trait combo? Could it have been a better trait combo with, let's say, strong and alert, or melee characters? Tough, strong is generally the counter lead to a fast alert leader. Now, I have kind of predicted that there is going to be another fast alert leader on the way, because we are seeing Jackie heavily pushed out. Last chance to get Jackie, and then they're going to give, you know, a new fresh leader that's actually going to work now, because Jackie's kind of like half useless at the moment. That is where this character would come into great use because of the trait bonuses, but potentially could have been strong alert to work against Marge teams. That would have worked quite well. We don't have a promo strong alert leader. We do have Erin. I don't believe we have a strong alert leader for promo. It can be hard to remember all these characters, guys, but I'm pretty sure that we don't, and that would have actually been pretty decent because you could work in some specialist abilities there. You could even use Jesus on that team as well because of the alert. You know, trauma works really good against Marge teams, and those initial trauma takedowns would be crossheads, so they could be decapped. So yeah, I think it could have been slightly better on the combo, but obviously you could see how effective that is if you have big damage dealers. We had Raven there who's one-shotting everybody basically, and that was a guaranteed takedown. Went up against Shane, who's very tanky in that team. She also took out Pete as well, one shot, just big rush, and if they have got the crosshairs on there, you know they're no longer going to be an issue. So we'll go across to the weapon, and the jack of all trades, master of none continues for Garrett with his sturdy crowbar. 30% base HP, so more of a defensive stat, a medium bonus to AP when attacking, and in the third slot, when attacking, the enemy gets 100% infection for 3 turns. This is just like, every part of his kit is just so different, but they're all pretty good. It's just nothing seems to work together. Maybe you could say his rush and his leader skill work together, obviously, because potentially if he takes someone down, they would be decapped. He seems very disjointed as a character, and I'm not really sure. I don't think any part of it's terrible. It's just there's no synergy between his own kit. He just seems kind of all over the place. So we'll attack again and keep it quite basic. Before, when I was using the weapon in his hand, it was a stun on attack weapon. That was just to keep this little sneaky peek till the end. If I do a basic attack, it will give 100% infection. It seems to be 100% of the time. It doesn't have a percentage on it. When you read it, it just says when attacking, enemy gets 100% infection for 3 turns. It doesn't say anything else. That's all it says. So I've just infected 2 people turn 1. You could effectively have multiple Garretts and do this. See, this is where it gets even stranger, right? That seems pretty decent. But how does that work with his rush? How does that work? I mean, it does work with his active. It's really strange, his kit, I'm going to be honest. But this weapon, obviously, is really powerful. It's much more powerful than the rifle we got in the Battle Pass, because I think that only has a percentage chance to work. Better chance, which is like 35 to 40% chance. Whereas this seems to be 100% of the time. And obviously, 100% infection means that character that he attacks will have to heal 100% of their HP on top of what they've got. You can't really do that very well with fast healing weapons, unless you have a lot of fast characters and a lot of fast healing weapons, and then you're basically making yourself quite susceptible to being nuked by strong characters. So you've got to balance it quite well. This guy's kit, though, is really, really strange. It's like his active and his weapon work together as one kit, and his rush and his leader skill work together as a different kit. Like, I think you could build like multiple rosters where strong characters can be used in it, and Garrett could fit into pretty much every single one in some way. But he's not really a specialist, you know? He's not really just like that all-out significant power. He is very much a support character in that case, where he's just going to slot in to pretty much anyone's team. Commands are in the same sort of position where you can use a command in any team. It doesn't matter if you're getting leader bonus or not in those situations. I would say this guy kind of does need leader bonus, unless you want to use him on an infection / trauma team, which I guess he could be used in, because a lot of his kit does work there. But he's such a strange character, because I think if he had a better synergy between his entire kit, he would be really good. That weapon is extremely powerful. The active is nice. And then, like I said, it's just like a different character when it comes to the rush and leader skill. It's really strange. He's by no means bad, but I think there's like just a bit of a missed opportunity. But looking at that crowbar a little bit more in detail, it does look like pretty nasty, so the infection does make sense. Do tell me what you think about S-Class Garrett, though, guys. He is going to be the next S-Class promo to come into the game. If you do get your hands on him, like if you do an SC pull, or if you do a pull for him, he is going to make teams stronger, no doubt. And I think he could potentially, if he would have had some heals on him somewhere, if his rush did heals and it was quite fast, that would have made the difference for like a trauma team, I think. That would have made the difference. And like I said, if his leader skill was alert and strong, so you could use different combos and you could potentially use it against Marge. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. Do leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I want to thank you very much for tuning into my video. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.